Hey guys, happy Halloween almost ish. Uh, I got two things to talk to you guys about real quick. First one being is I have a stream ish coming up, that really big one. That if you haven't been around for like the last 2 years or something, or you just didn't know about this, usually what I do is every Halloween I stream a bunch of games that I wouldn't normally do on Halloween. Mostly the ones of the scary variety, and it's usually we all have good laughs. It's more of like a joke stream because you know all that shit like people do scare cams of like one year I did I think it was last year I did that what was that thing, Five Nights at Freddy's, and it was a piece of shit. I got bored. So usually you're just gonna see things like that. Just me diving into some shitty games that I wouldn't normally do. And that stream is happening on Halloween, which is the 31st, and it's gonna start at, let's say, 1 o'clock Eastern. And if you look at the description, I'm probably going to put in some sort of time zone converter thing for you, so you know what it is in your time zone. The reason why it's 1 o'clock is, well, just so the Europeans can watch it too, because I like you European people. You guys are cool. So yeah, you can just come in for that. If you're doing something on Halloween, then stay safe, happy Halloween, etc. Don't die, whatever like that. And the second thing I want to talk about, this is going to be something new I'm trying. So I have Shadow Warrior 2 going on right now, which is the interest is kind of there and kind of not. And so I was talking with some guys that I talked to, and I had an idea actually of something to do. So I really want to try some obscure games like RimWorld, and there's a couple of DOS games like Cleopatra. Like some, they're really out there. I have to tell you, like they're kind of like they have somewhat of a learning curve sometimes, and so may not understand what the fuck's going on. But usually, you know me, I kind of explain it and things like that, and good things like that. And I don't know if I do a good job or bad, but like sometimes you guys are interested in that stuff, sometimes you're not. Like for example, something that was really good that I did was kind of obscure, and not something I would normally do is FTL, and everyone loved FTL, and so I was kind of thinking of things like that, like how do I bring more kind of weird shit into my channel, because I want to personally play that stuff a little bit more often, and I love playing it also for you guys as well. But you like I never know what works and what doesn't. Like for me, this is a process of constantly experimenting. Like for example, I tried to do Endless Legend. If you guys remember that, that ended up being shit. I hated that. Even though I explained it pretty well, it just didn't work in the setting that I kind of made for it, and it wasn't very good. So those are still on the channel. They're just unlisted. So those were like these are the kinds of experiments that I'm talking about. So what I'm thinking of doing is not just thinking, I'm planning on it. It's going to start tonight probably at some point. I'm going to start doing a regular thing where I do obscure games, but I don't necessarily have any sort of timeline to, like, if the game has some sort of conclusion or like multiple runs, let's say. Like RimWorld is actually a good example. So you're gonna see that coming up, and I'm gonna do one run of it, mostly to kind of like explain how the game works and things like that. And if people like it, I will do a second run and maybe a third run, but maybe not back to back. But it would be like a series that, like, the more people want to see of it, the more frequent I'll probably return to it. Also depends upon if I feel like playing the game as well. Because I've also been thinking about like like for example FTL. Like I did a full LP of that, every ship, everything like that, and like a lot of you guys liked it. But you knew once I finished it that it was very unlikely that I would ever return to it on the channel, right? And so like obviously that may piss some of you off and things like that. Maybe you want to see something like that, me return to something like that again. But like I always go kind of like, I'm thinking of a game to do next. I'm always like, well, you know, Shadow Warrior 2 is coming out and I want to run through that, and then there's like a gazillion other games which I've not touched yet, kind of a thing. So this other kind of branching series that I'm doing is essentially going to say, hey, you know, we're going to try something crazy, and we may not actually, like, I'll finish it to a proper kind of conclusion. Like for example, I'm planning on doing Outpost 2 at some point, which is something I did visit on my channel at one point. But if I find, hey, people don't really like it, I'll finish the campaign, the first campaign, and maybe just not do anything else for it ever, kind of a thing. But for something like FTL, people liked it a lot. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I'll come back to that after I do like a couple more games of something else that's kind of weird. So, like I said, I'll trial everything. I'll trial things and maybe just not go thoroughly through the game like I do with most of my other shit. I won't be as thorough, and maybe I'll just drop it after like, hey, I've done one run, but you know, I don't think anyone likes it, so I'm not going to touch it anymore. So, with that being said, I'll take suggestions. I mentioned, as I mentioned earlier, that the first game I'm going to be doing is RimWorld, and you guys can go ahead and just tell me in the comments, like, is there a game that I visited in the past? This can be multiplayer. This can be anything. Do you want me to visit it again? And it will usually be short. It'll just be like to the point where it's like a satisfying series, and then I'll move on to something else, and then maybe come back to it. As I said, if people liked it, I'll come back to it, and then go to something else, and I'll rotate between trying something and then doing something that people would like to see. Because like I don't mind FTL. I liked FTL, and I don't mind coming back to it with like mods or something. I don't know if that's gonna be one of the ones you guys suggest, but I don't mind coming back to it with mods and shit. It's just like the weird way I work my channel currently does not facilitate me going back to games like that. I do it on stream sometimes, but yeah. And as I said, this could be anything, but I'm more likely to do it if it's something that could be short and kind of short and sweet, like under like maybe like 10 episodes or something. I don't know. As I said, this is a total bit like if you tell me to go revisit Skyrim, I'm probably not going to do it. That's my good example. This is not like a typical request system of me doing long ass games. This is more of like those really niche, weird games. Do you want me to try them? Tell me what you want me to try. What do you think I'll like? Even if it's out of my element, I'll still do it, or I'll still like think about it, and then we'll see what we can do. And so when I post these things, also let me know if it's something you like. So like when RimWorld comes up, and by the end of it, let me know if you cared about it at all. And then, as I said, that will give me feedback to determine if I want to go on to something and do it again at some point. So that's just an idea I have, and we're gonna try it out. And I think it'll be nice. Just because, like, as I said, I shouldn't be just doing one thing all the time. Because, like, if you guys don't care about Shadow Warrior 2, which I think a lot of people don't, it's like, well, then, like, fucking, you're just ignoring all the videos I'm making for a month or whatever, how long I'm taking to upload that. So, I mean, it's an okay game, but I'm not gonna spoil too much. We did just finish it though, so. Anyways, let me know what you think, and give me some suggestions on what you would like me to see. As I said, even if I've never played it before, I will still look into it and see if it's something I would like. Because as I said, RimWorld is going to be definitely one of those games that is not something typically that you see on this channel. So thanks a lot, and take care, guys.